Good morning, Coastal Bend. We are talking fire danger, but we're also talking cold front impacts, right? So there's high fire danger today because of that northwest wind that we've heard and felt all night and into this morning. Finally, we are going to be extra dry and cooler, so don't forget the lotion and the chapstick. If you've already made it to work, hopefully you have some of that on hand. You're going to notice these conditions much drier outside because of these strong northwest winds. And finally, we've got rough and hazardous seas because of the wind as well. So the strongest wind is expected to remain near the coast throughout the day today. Peak wind gust overnight got up to 52 miles per hour at Flower Bluff. So that's where we saw the highest wind. It's still pretty windy across the coastal bend, but it's more so a typical wind, not an excessive wind. But it is a little stronger than our normal day-to-day wind. So we are looking at 31 mile per hour wind gust right now in Corpus Christi and a 33 mile per hour wind gust at the Naval Air Station in Flower Bluff. Good morning, Coastal Bend. Your current time is 10:47 on this October 29th. I'm meteorologist Carly Smith. Thank you so much for joining this live update. So we're talking wind. It is windy because of the pressure gradient change. So the high and the low pressure are really close together. And that means the pressure is changing rapidly over a small amount of time or space, essentially. And so because of that, the pressure gradient force is strong as air is flowing from high to low pressure, and that creates a stronger wind gust to the right of that pressure gradient force. And so we are going to see windy conditions throughout the day today. Now our winds will calm a bit overnight, but for now this pattern is bringing in really dry and much cooler air into the coastal bend. And as we continue into the afternoon and overnight hours, as I mentioned, the wind will get calmer. So there is a wind advisory in place for our coastal counties, also including B County and Refugio County. That's going to be until noon. So once we get into the afternoon, we should have lighter winds. However, gale warning is still until 7 p.m. and humidity is still extra dry, and even any wind around 30 miles per hour or higher, those gusts especially, well really I think 25 miles per hour is the criteria or higher, that elevates our fire danger risk. So fire weather is a big concern today, and so do your part not to start any fires. You know the drill, try not to drag chains as you're towing. Additionally, throwing out cigarettes on the side of the road, not a good idea ever, but especially today. We are going to notice temperatures much cooler in this dry and cool air. We're 15 degrees cooler than the same time yesterday in Corpus Christi. So over the last 24 hours, we peaked in the 90s yesterday. We fell into the 50s this morning. So that's quite the temperature change. In fact, it was almost a 40-degree difference because the high yesterday was 97 degrees. That was a record high, smashed the record of 92 degrees yesterday. Today, well, more so tonight, we'll near the record low. That's 41 degrees. I don't think we get that cold, but on October 30th, that is the record low, 41, and we're going a low of 45 degrees. So again, quite a big change or range in temperatures there. As far as today's high goes, so we're going to be about 75 degrees this afternoon. Our average high is 81. Again, we're still windy, and that's the bigger issue, the bigger impact. It's going to feel nice, though, except for the wind is going to be a little annoying, but also could cause some problems, especially with fire danger, also creating rough and hazardous seas with a gale warning in place. 45 degrees, the low in Corpus Christi, 44 Robstown. We do get down into the low 40s, especially there just northwest of 59. So Freer, George West, you could be flirting with the 30s. Feels like temperatures could be in the 30s. However, our wind is supposed to get calmer, and that's a big reason why we're going to be so cold. It's something called radiational cooling. That is when the earth loses heat efficiently. I just read Zach's comment, bye summer and hello fall, winter. Yeah, we almost kind of skipped fall and headed straight into winter. Our normal low on Halloween is 61, and we're going to be 45 tomorrow. So that's a little extreme, but it's still going to be It's still fall weather, y'all, so enjoy. Goodbye, summer. Radiational cooling, again, is when the earth loses heat efficiently, meaning when we don't have clouds and our humidity is low and our winds are calm, there's no factors that are adding heat to the surface. All that's happening is heat that the earth naturally emits at night from the ground, essentially, is just going to escape into space. If we had cloud coverage, it would act as a blanket and keep that heat trapped. So we actually tend to be a little warmer overnight when we have clouds. Obviously, we're cooler during the day because the clouds are blocking the sunlight. But overall, it's going to get cold, y'all, because of radiational cooling. And we're going to stay that way Thursday into Friday. Saturday and Sunday, we see more humidity move back in. That's because our winds are going to return back out of the southeast. So we'll be closer to 60, which is our normal low, remember, for this time of year. Well, 61 on Halloween. There's a gale warning again in place until 7 p.m. Red flag warning also until 7 p.m. As I mentioned, we also are dealing with some wind advisories, and those are in place until noon, last I checked. But still, it's a windy day, and the wind is going to create hazardous conditions. Port Aransas, especially near the coast, I expect those wind gusts to be 30 to 35 miles per hour today. 20 to 24 mile per hour sustained winds into the afternoon. Combine that wind with these dry conditions. Look at what our relative humidity is expected to be this afternoon. Yeah, we're talking teens across the majority of the coastal bend, with those gusts around 30 to 35 miles per hour, and that creates that high fire danger. So from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., we are watching our relative humidity below 20%, 40 mile per hour gusts possible, but 35 likely, and dry vegetation on top of that because we really haven't seen a whole lot of rainfall. That's all a disaster setting up. If a fire were to start, it's going to spread rapidly. So no outdoor burning today. Be mindful of the forecast. It is going to be a dangerous one when it comes to fighting fires in the coastal bend. So do your part to kind of help out our firefighters and try not to allow one of those fires to start, because they will spread rapidly if they do. Cooler and drier air, of course, is working its way in. High pressure sets up over us, so our wind will calm tonight and into tomorrow. What we are going to notice is this high kind of just hanging out over the area as we head into Halloween, but there is another front on the way. So Halloween, high pressure is dominating. I expect no rainfall, clear skies, beautiful conditions, but our wind is back out of the east-southeast. We get southeast winds into Saturday. We have more humidity, and that weaker front than what we already experienced is set to move through Saturday night into Sunday. That could bring some rain. Dia de los Muertos Festival, Saturday, more so evening into the overnight hours. We could be looking at a little rain in the area. Right now it's a low 20-30% chance, so don't cancel your plans or change your plans. Just be aware there is a small chance for some rain. As we head into next week, high pressure dominating once again. It's going to be drier, beautiful weather, fall-like weather. Are you ready? Monkey meter stays in check. We do get around the humid level by Saturday, but it stays comfortable heading into the weekend, which is what we love about our taste of fall, no matter how short it may wind up being here in the coastal bend. Wind forecast. Today is our strongest wind, sustained 18 to 28 miles per hour. But as we look ahead to Saturday and Sunday, those winds do pick back up. 10, 20 miles per hour. We'll have to watch how low our humidity gets on Sunday. We could be talking another fire danger risk, but I don't think anything as extreme as what we are experiencing today. However, our dew points do still remain fairly dry over the next week. So anytime our wind picks up, fires can spread very easily regardless, especially if we continue to go pretty much rain-free in the coastal bend. There's the Harbor Bridge. Of course, work was stalled because of the wind today. And so we'll see if the bridge gets lowered tomorrow or Friday. The wind is much lighter on those days. 75 degrees this afternoon. We're already up to 68 now that it's 10 a.m. So temperatures are warming up with the sunshine. It is windy out there, and that is going to continue through the afternoon. Check it out, 75 your high today. We are going to work our way up to about 84 degrees by Saturday. So Saturday is the warmest day on the 7-day forecast. We'll see that cold front swing through. It's weak, but don't forget to change your clocks back as well. We'll keep the fall-like weather as our clocks fall back with sunshine in the forecast and really pleasant conditions, to be honest, next week. I'm looking forward to it. That's going to do it for this weather update. Thanks, Lisa and Zach, for your comments. And I'm meteorologist Carly Smith, signing off.